Hello, how's everybody doing? I wanted to come on and give you guys something that I promised you. If you caught my live on Instagram or Facebook the other day, I made an announcement of a few different things that were coming, and this would be one of them. This is my year in review, so I am kind of trying to start my own tradition where on my birthday I look back at my year and, kind of see, did I do everything I said I wanted to do? What can I do better moving forward, type of thing. So I'm not going to get into a big, huge introduction. So without further ado, here we go. This past year has been the most enlightening of my life. I posted a video to Facebook on September 8th, 2018, saying how I wanted my life to be different, mainly how I operated in my own life. In the moments of the following days and months, it did not feel like much was changing. However, looking back on that now, that last statement is highly inaccurate. First, a few days after I posted that video, I rushed to Tucson to meet my newest niece, Amarice. Her mother, my bester, Danielle, had a traumatic pregnancy and for 9 whole months lived in constant fear for her own and her baby's life. My friend is alive and well, and today, Amarice turns 1 year old. This taught me to be more in touch. Looking back, I wish I would have been more present. That is a lesson in and of itself. For my 35th year, I will be more active in the lives of the ones I love and who love me. I have already begun this process, and it has filled me with a renewed sense of self, friendship, and family. I will continue to work on that and reach out more to the ones I love. In the past year, I spent a lot of time, maybe too much time, defending my beliefs for the protection of women's rights to their bodies, supporting Nike commercials, football players who take a knee for what they believe in, the LGBT community, and other things on social media. Racism and bigotry is alive and well. This led to a confirmation of a childhood fear and belief that rang true in its illustrations on these posts. Sharing a bloodline isn't a strong enough reason to call you family, especially when the aforementioned characteristics degrade my son and myself. When you can't encourage me during my struggles, cheer me on during my accomplishments, check in and make sure Taj and I are okay, but you can go 10 to 20 replies deep supporting racism, the violation of women's rights, promoting inequality and hate, and generally telling me my beliefs are wrong, you don't love me or care about me or my son. You are not family. You are the very definition of an abuser of the word. The person who thinks they can talk to me any way they'd like with the belief that I simply must take it because you are, insert family member title here. In December, I left a financially comfortable but emotionally toxic environment in exchange for my mental health. I got my own place. Well, we got our own place, my girlfriend Taj and I. I immediately felt a freedom I hadn't felt in a long time. Mentally, I was calmer, my mood was lifted, my relaxation level was increasing, and it was the best decision I ever made. I made a vow to never return. There's absolutely nothing more precious than having a sanctuary to come home to. There is nothing more valuable than to be able to breathe, relax, and feel emotionally and physically safe on a regular basis. I will put Taj and I in a studio before I ever put us in a toxic situation again. In January, I made a promise to myself to stop being stifled or silenced. I was at a point where speaking my mind felt scary, but holding my tongue was painful. It took a few months to really take hold, but I write this now on the first day of my 35th year, holding that promise true to myself. I've denounced things that I do not support. Fake people, extramarital affairs, liars, backstabbers, gossipers, negative minds in general. I ended relationships based on the aforementioned characteristics and gained a sense of clarity I never imagined. In addition, I made a promise to myself to read more. The goal for 2019 was a minimum of 12 books. Most of these books are going to be for self-help, inspiration, or motivation, but some of them to broaden my horizons on topics that have to do with relationships and parenting as well. While I have fallen behind on this ninth month, I have only read 7 books. However, the 7 books that I have read is 100% more than any given previous year of my life, so I'm taking it as a win. Another thing I noticed being on 3 different social media platforms is that it's very difficult to find any natural pictures of anyone anymore. They all have at least one filter on them, making our faces appear slimmer, airbrushed, have bigger eyes, or of course the occasional animal feature like a nose and ears and a tail, I think one of them has. That doesn't even include any makeup being applied before the picture is taken. I do find filters to be fun on occasion, and I occasionally wear makeup myself, but I don't want people to look back on me when I'm gone, remembering a filtered version of who I am or what I looked like. Not to mention, while I'm still here, it's false advertisement. I do not have a perfect face. I have scars on my lips, a dark spot on each of my cheeks, one eye that seems to be more sleepy than the other on a constant basis, gray hairs that are coming in, and a growing deep wrinkle in my forehead. Hence the hashtag you may have seen on my pictures this year, hashtag 19NoFilter. I can count on less than one hand the number of pictures I have taken or posted that are filtered, and I am so proud of that. Early in 2018, I joined a self-care and meditation app called Shine, and it has forever changed my daily routine and life. I found myself totally submersed in daily articles on how to improve, everything from mood to organizational skills. It really helped me during some anxiety-driven times as well and calmed me down. I recommend it to anyone looking for guided meditations, self-help, and mindfulness. Their staff is also really, really amazing, and I'm excited to be a part of one of their meetings to improve the app's content. To improve the app and its content. I also became more aware of my mental health and things that have a negative trigger for me. Little by little, I started unfollowing pages and people who constantly post negative things or content that has a negative impact to my emotions and my health. At one point, I even deleted all of my social media apps, and with the exception of an occasional FOMO moment, I found myself to be less anxious, less stressed, scared, or worried. Even now, I do not add any pages that do not serve as a positive force. I recommend taking an inventory of your social media as the mental and emotional impact can actually be monumental. I even put some of my friends on mute if they are on a negative roll for a little bit too long, and please don't get me wrong. I understand negativity is in the world, and it's literally impossible for me to block it off, but I have my own shit to worry about. I do not need posts on my phone to add to it, and when in reality, it shouldn't impact me because it's not my life. I started going to counseling as I started experiencing mostly minor panic attacks, but a huge one sent me into weeks of incredibly dark self-talk, and quite frankly, it scared the shit out of me. Going to counseling has helped for me to discuss things I don't normally have time to stay focused on and work through some of my issues, my stressors, or my problems. In July, I began another journey of spiritual nature. I joined a spirit circle, which was formed by Juanita Ventura, intuitive consultant and intuition trainer, to enhance what I already knew was there, a very strong intuition. This is a weekly meeting where we meditate and grow our spirituality, strengthen our intuition, and have a safe place for people with common interests and beliefs. I feel very connected, not only to spirit, but to the people that are involved. Being a part of this group makes me feel validated in a lot of what has been made to make me feel crazy. I'm going to get that part to you one more time. Being a part of this group makes me feel validated in a lot of what has been made to make me feel crazy. It's also helped me to find strength in the fact that I am an empath, rather than feeling like it's a weakness or a curse. I'm so grateful to Juanita and everyone who joins the group. It is a safe place to share our spiritual experiences free of judgment and with a shared intent to deepen our understanding. In August, I ended my relationship with my girlfriend of almost 5 years. It came to a point where, besides the obvious lying and cheating, it was clear our relationship would go nowhere serious, even if we could overcome those obstacles. As embarrassing as this is to admit, in that 5 years, I never met a single person of my girlfriend's family. I was made a secret to a huge chunk of her life. I was not allowed to post her face to social media and could not discuss her in certain crowds. I was only allowed to meet a small, calculated section of her circle of friends, and there was no goal or discussion of anything concrete for us. Marriage, buying a house, nothing. Things were said about me behind my back that were untrue to ensure that my place would be kept far from even those friends that I was allowed to know and be around. She held contact with at least one ex while I was made to cut mine off, including one who had been my best friend for over a decade prior to our amicably ended relationship. It became apparent to me that I was in a relationship alone. I tried everything I could think of to connect to her and build something that just simply wasn't there. There was no honor, commitment, partnership, future, family, loyalty, honesty, or fidelity. I learned a lot about trust, intuition, love, partnership, etc. Within myself, but for relationships as well. She benefited for nearly 5 years off of me not loving me very much and off of me not valuing myself and standing my ground. I will no longer allow that to happen. I will no longer ignore my feelings, emotional or intuition. I will love me more, and that cannot include her. On August 20th, 2019, I launched Pensive Plar, an online journal, blog, self-help, self-love, self-care journey that I'm finding myself in. As I enter my 35th year, I plan to continue my awareness and reflection of self. I want to improve the way I talk about and to myself. I want to put my needs and wants on higher priority. I am going to make decisions based on the needs and wants of myself and my son. There will be no one or thing that will surpass that. My focus will be on becoming the best version of myself, and in turn, this should make me a better mother, sister, friend, and woman. In a lot of ways, I'm getting back to an old version of who I once was when the relationships I had in my life were a lot stronger, but now I have growth behind me to back it up. This should empower me with the confidence I need to move forward. There have been so many closed chapters in my life this year, and I cannot wait to write the next one in my life book. Thanks for listening, guys.